Welcome to the Your Energy First podcast, where we help you explore and better understand your intuition and spiritual gifts so that you can apply them to your day-to-day for your most purposeful and abundant life. Welcome, everyone. Hot topic today, explicit topic today. So heads up, if you got people around you that maybe wouldn't benefit from hearing about sexy times, to make sure they're not listening to this one. And by the way, sex positive, whatever that means for you. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot, or that comes up a lot, has to do with our spirit guides' role when it comes to sex, our sex life, self-pleasure, pleasure, all of the things. And first things first, the guides are laughing right now, is they don't often come through and laugh that much in podcasts. So I think it's funny that they're like, see, they're already making light of it. Something to note about our guides is, number one, they've been human. Number two, they're not our parents. So they're not here judging us. They're not a pastor or priest. They're not here to judge you. And I want to make it really clear, when I talk about this topic, I'm talking about all things consensual. So anything outside of that is not covered by today's topic. So your guides expect, know, understand. They're so funny. All the things, they're so pragmatic. It's like, how do you think humans function? Like, we know bodily fluids and, all the things. It's all the things. And we're also programmed. Our experience is programmed with these layers of our being. If anything, they think it's funny that we try to mitigate it. In our modern world, they would love for us to it's, Tuesday, it's 10:28 a.m. and I just feel like giving myself a little pleasure right now, whatever that pleasure might be for you. They would love that. The reason they would love that is because it's going to bring in more understanding of your energy, more feel good, more, higher vibrations. And it's going to bring in more of what you want. Because what happens when we don't pay attention to those things is we're not encompassing all of who we are. And I also want to say, not everyone, everybody has different levels of, pleasure drive. And it's just about honoring whatever version you are at. But can you honor the version you're at? Can you even start paying attention to it, noticing it? So they're not your parents. They definitely do not judge you. My gosh, they do not judge you. They want you to be enjoying yourself even more. And they've come through in so many sessions with clients proactively talking about this topic, talking about sex and talking about pleasure. And I'll be sitting there and I'm like, okay, how comfortable are you with this topic? Because here we go. They want you to be creative. They want you to be curious, all within the healthy boundaries of what everybody's in agreement with, right? And they want you to spend more time relaxing, spend more time exploring. Sex doesn't always have to lead to sex, right? There's a lot of other things that can be done that can be just as enjoyable. It's not like they're sitting there just staring at you, watching you intricately. Time goes by so fast for them, and they expect it. They know it's coming. This is the other part that's crazy to me, is they will know we're going to have an experience even before we do. It's a topic for another day, but they know that these things are just a normal part of our experience, and they want us to be more curious about it, make more time for it, relax into it. And when I say explore, they're meaning explicitly explore things knowing you're not the expert, explore things even though you're like, I don't know if I'll like this, but I'm going to try it. And then you try it and you're like, oh, that's interesting. Didn't think I'd like it. Or you're like, I didn't think I'd like this thing and I don't. It's just this true sense of, this is going to actually bring you more into a comfort level with yourself. And this is going to bring you into a more knowledge of yourself and also your body. I've let a few people onto this fact that there's something about our bodies coming forward into our experience, into our realm in these upcoming years, and I'm not sure exactly how it's going to come through, but it is. I don't know if it's associated with AI, because AI isn't going to have human bodies, but our human bodies play such a big role in our life and our experience, and I think that's going to be one of the biggest differentiators between the two. So it's about you understanding yourself better. Okay, so the other question that I get asked is, do spirit guides have sex? And spirit guides are on the other side of the veil, they're energy. And we always associate our human experience with them, right? You know, do they have names? What are they wearing? And then, of course, do they have sex? And they don't. They've actually let me know in a couple of client sessions how that there are realms of just pure pleasure. And they say, but those realms are very different and the experiences are very different. They also say how on their side of the veil, because they are so in alignment and engulfed in their experience of love, that it just feels naturally very pleasurable all the time. Food for thought. A spirit guide won't flirt with you. That's not a spirit guide. And also a spirit guide will not like sleep with you. You know, that is something that does happen with people, like with ghosts and with other energies, and that's a very serious topic. And your spirit guides really have that strong positive alignment where they are looking out for you. And if anything, believe me, they are encouraging you to squiggle into your body and give yourself more of that love with yourself, with partners, whatever feels good for you, and to make it a conscious part of your journey. Meaning, let's not shy away from it anymore. And I think as humans, we really need to start sharing these, best practices and just talking about it more openly and making it more normal. When I did way back in the day, I went to Iceland before Iceland became more of a tourist place, and we were doing this incredible tour. And on one part of the island, it had been completely shut off. Like there was no roadways, no way for people from that part of the island to get to where there's more developed towns. And everybody, like all the families, grew up and lived in these little huts. And of course, there's many cultures that live in mini huts. And we've been talking about how, because kids grew up seeing the adults around them having sex together, it was just a very normal thing. And if you think about it, it's become so taboo that we actually deny ourselves so much of what we want to feel, and really all we want to feel is good and connected, and we love the rush of the feeling of that experience. If we're built this way, we're meant to experience it to whatever degree feels good for you. If you have any more questions about spirit guides, does not have to be on this topic, but just spirit guides in general, go ahead and put them in the comments or the show comments, and one of these days we'll get to them. I love your guys' questions for the guides. I oftentimes don't know the answer, but I hold space for the response, and then you always want to tap in with your inner wisdom, your inner gut, your inner light, and tune into which aspects feel true for you, and does your inner light even expand on any of these topics for you and give you some additional wisdom on this? And that's a heck yes, it will do that often. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your light with the world.